Do you know what your salespeople did today? Do you know how to keep them accountable? Do you know what to look at and what to change in order to improve productivity? In this video, we'll show you how. When I sold cars, on multiple occasions, sales management would be trying to get the salespeople to do the calls. Salespeople would turn around and say, hey, they made their calls. It was this constant battle. Sales management didn't know if the things that they were expecting, if they were actually getting done. These particular salespeople were notorious at cutting corners and finding ways to act like they were doing what they were supposed to be doing when in fact they weren't. Low productivity is usually a direct relation to accountability and visibility. If management doesn't have visibility into the salespeople, then the salespeople are free to do or not do what they want to do. Accountability is an important part of CRM. The CRM tells you what the salespeople have done and what they haven't done. Historically, sales managers have only looked at what has been done, but often overlooks what hasn't been done. If you have two salespeople and they both made 30 calls today, on most reports you look at that and say, yeah, they both did 30 calls today. But if you have one salesperson that had 50 tasks assigned to him today and he only did 30, and you have another person who was assigned 30 and did 30, when you compare those two sales reps side by side, they don't look equal. Making sure you have visibility into what's going on means looking at reports. It means looking at call tracking and making sure that they're actually picking up the phone, that you're recording and listening to the calls. Keeping your salespeople accountable will help improve efficiency and productivity. Now, not all salespeople are bad, but it's important to make sure that you're using the CRM to hold them accountable. As a manager, it's your job to help them fulfill their potential. Are you working with your salespeople? Are you mentoring them? Are you setting goals? And then are you looking in the CRM to make sure that those things are happening? The reason that accountability was low at the dealership that I worked at was because sales managers just weren't doing their job. They didn't know what to look at. In order to improve accountability, I suggest looking at reports that let you know that every up is being entered into the system. The worst thing is to have customers that are talking to sales rep and the sales rep doesn't put that into the CRM. This affects tracking, it affects your ROI, and affects future follow-up. So make sure that you have some way to tell how many people the salespeople is talking each day, maybe have the receptionist do a tally or keep track, and then compare that to the CRM. Second, you need to make sure that they're quickly responding to emails and web leads. Look at response time report. Make sure that they're responding in a way that's effective and efficient. Make sure you're looking at their daily activities. Look at calls, emails, and text. Make sure that they're doing the proactive stuff. Salespeople love to work with people who are ready to buy. But what about the people that aren't ready to buy? That's what requires salesmen to do the work, and it's mundane. A lot of times these customers that submit leads might be 2-3 months out. They submit information, you're responding to the lead, they're not ready to buy, and they're not interested. The salesperson calls a couple times and then they say, hey, this customer's not answering my call, I'm gonna not call them anymore. Well, if we continue to follow up with those customers, maybe they're gonna fall into that window where now they have some extra time, we're getting closer to their end of their purchase, so we just wanna make sure that we continue to follow up with them. Another thing to look at is moving customers to lost. Salespeople love to move customers to lost once there's been some inactivity or there's any type of resistance in the sale. Make sure as a manager you're reviewing your lost. There's a lot of lost deals that you can save. Make sure you know why they're being lost and see if you can save them. One of the other things that you have to look at is the salesperson's pipeline or funnel. You have to make sure that you're looking at where are customers falling or maybe stopping in that process. If you're noticing that a lot of them are getting stuck in the contact phase, that usually says that your salespeople need better phone skills or better reply skills. If you're noticing that they're getting a lot of visits, but you're not getting a lot of test drives, then maybe that's more of an opportunity where they need to turn a customer. If you're noticing that they're doing a lot of test drives, but you're not doing a lot of write-ups, again, that's a turn, or they're gonna need some training on how do you get somebody to come into the dealership to work numbers. Make sure you're looking at that and analyzing that data so that as a manager, you can look in and say, hey, where can I come in to help this salesperson? There's a lot of turnover at the dealership with salespeople, and one of the number one reasons that this happens is because they don't have the training or the help to be successful. Who's responsible for that? It is the sales managers, but often they're busy desking deals. Make sure you set out some time to coach, mentor, and train your salespeople. Use the opportunity when you come together as a team in your morning kickoffs and talk about objections or issues that they might be having and work as a team. There are seasoned sales reps, seasoned managers that can come together and can provide that help. But a lot of times the sales management doesn't know where the salespeople need the help. That's why you have to look in the CRM to be aware of where these problems arise and how to fix them. Having a plan and setting goals is an essential part of accountability. Make sure you're working with your salespeople to have goals both daily, weekly, and monthly, and then hold them accountable if they're achieving those or if they're not. If you have a salesperson that isn't taking responsibility, this might require some individual mentoring. Focus on their behavior and their attitude, and not the person. A lot of times they just need help, they get frustrated. It is your job to come in and tell them what they need to do, provide them with the help and the assistance to help them succeed. If they're not going to be successful, they're going to leave. It's going to require you to hire new people, train new people. It's going to take a long time. You already have these people. You already know who these people are. Look at the reporting, look at the data to see where these people need help, and then hold those people accountable to make sure that they achieve those goals that you set. As accountability grows, habits will be formed, and it will allow you to help these salespeople progress in their career and help them to become successful salespeople. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us direct. We also have some other cool videos to check out. We'll catch you on the next video.